in the previous game, that Taka actually was full build, close to full build. Had all the damage items, required of Taka. The aftershock into crown, then into broken myth in just mere 12 or 13 minutes in. So that's quite impressive play coming up from the side of Elite 8. But other than that, we are now into the third match of this of today against Eanix versus Silverboom. Just a quick run through of the roster. On the side of Eanix, we have Rubber Monkey, I Angry You Die, Truffles, Truffless, and Kosh. And on the side of Silverboom, we have Lei Keng, Rasen Shuriken, Depression, So Bad, Very Bad, and Pain Sunday.
All right, so guys, let's go into the draft and see what these teams have come up with.
Right, okay, so we are into draft at this point in time, and honestly, I'm just expecting the usual standard draft. And although I've been watching other regions' games, and quite funnily and ironically, in the other regions, Grumjoy is one of those priority bands. But then on the side, in Southeast Asia at least, Grumjaw hasn't been quite played or seen, if at all. So, anyways, we are into draft right now. I'm expecting the classic Fat Baron first ban. If not, then Catherine. What about yourself, Asura?
Maybe a Lyra, because like going in, looking back into our first series, I believe that was Shao 7 and Impunity. There was so much emphasis on banning out first a Lyra, but also Grace can work out. I mean, like if you think about it, it's a lesser heal but frontline type of Lyra, I guess, like in a way. But next ban will be the Vox. So yeah. Oh, there you go.
Right, so we do actually see a Lyra coming out, like you said. Grace is one of those heroes that are really prioritized in the other regions as well, just not in Southeast Asia. Honestly, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I'm quite surprised to actually see that Grace being banned out and not the classic Idris or the Baron ban. So we do actually see Idris banned out secondly, and on the side of Eanix, they actually do pick up that Baron. I'm not surprised if they do actually just go in for that Baron and that Arden team comp. And on the side of Silver, I do actually hope that they ban out this Catherine, because Catherine is kind of one of those heroes that works really well against. Yep, there you go. We do actually see a Catherine ban coming out from the side of Silver, because Catherine is just so good when paired up with a Baron or just going up against that Lara.
Yeah, true. Adagio for the second. So you're going to be empowering the shots of the Baron. So it seems like a very smart pick. And then maybe here for... I think an Arden might be good here to tether this Baron. Might be not, because of the... I think he can be able to actually just leap over the gauntlet. Maybe a Black Feather. Yeah.
When you have jump jets actually overdrive, you can just leap through and in and out of the gauntlet. So I don't think Arden is the best pick right now, but with all the roamers available, I think Arden or Finn, or even Glaive. Glaive is a very good pick going against this Baron. The side of Eanix should be expecting a lot of early game ganks, especially with this Glaive being picked up on the side of Silverboom.
And then a Kestrel. All right. So just a good synergy with the Lyra. We've seen that time and time again. So they actually have a dive and then backline and then at least a heal as well. Although it kind of didn't work out on the last game we're in. Well, it wasn't a Glaive. It was actually an Idris. But this might be something else, because at least Kestrel can go for some auto attack, or rather some auto attack damage compared to I think that was also like an Idris and a Celeste. So at least this is something kind of different from that one. So we're just looking for the last pick here of Eanix. That's going to be the Taka.
Yep, I mean, the Taka pickup on the side of Eanix is just a really strong one. We saw in the previous game. Definitely there is always, the back thought that Bright Bulwark on Lara is constantly available or up in every, say, 10 seconds or so. But then in the early game, I just think that Taka works so well into this Kestrel, especially when you are going to expect a lot of a lot of gangs coming out from this Glaive. So Glaive in the early game, I'm expecting what we're going to see really is just Glaive going up after clearing jungle, after burning this Baron, just hindering his laning phase altogether. I do like that Adagio pickup just to help sustain help sustain that Baron and also an answer to that Lyra alone. But then just a sustain wise in comparison to that Lyra, Adagio just do not have that amount of sustain. But then in the early game, this Adagio will wreak havoc for the side of Team Silver Boom, because Adagio paired up. There is a really classic comp coming out in the patch 2.3 or so. It's when you have an Adagio pairing up with a Koshka, and then they can just go through your team in the early game because of the empowered attacks from Adagio and of course the constant healing as well. With Ataka, it's about similar. Once Taka gets his crown or even just a little crystal building into that aftershock, I'm expecting a lot of engages coming up from this Taka just to react, respond to the ganks that will be coming up from the side of Silver Boom. Castro, like I said earlier on, just before we actually entered draft, Castro is a really strong early game hero, and if you actually force Castro to turtle up, she becomes as irrelevant as she wants to be. So there you go. Looking at both of these comps, what do you think, Asura? Which comp do you actually favor?
Looking at the comps, like before, like I said, like previous or one of the series from before, we saw a Lyra with a Idris and Celeste. It didn't work out too well. Pre-Minimiter, what with Minimiter said. But looking into this comp, I think I would have to go with Silver Boom. But then, like you said, there's also the point where you really have to be careful with Eanix's Taka, because we've seen Taka just destroy any like long-range heroes just because of how in your face he can get. And then just the Adagio, just giving him a lot of boost with the, I believe that is the Agents of Wrath, and then keeping him healed up with the Gift of Fire.
Yep. I do agree with you, definitely, but then we cannot discount the fact that if So Bad, Very Bad plays this glaive as a utility role for this glaive, then we might actually see this glaive peel very, very hard for depression on this Castro. Anyway, just a quick run through of who is on what. We have Pain Sunday on this Lyra, we have Depression on this Castro, and of course we have So Bad, Very Bad on that glaive. And on the side of Team Eanix, we have Rubber Monkey on that Adagio. We have I Angry You Die on that Taka, which he is famed for. And then of course we have Trophies on that Baron.
So, tempo of the early game will start, and look at that. They immediately net in Rubber Monkey, puts himself with the Gift of Fire, but well, his fire will be taken out quite easily there. Although Trophies, you can see he's just bombarding him from up above, but it's not really going to matter early game because they do have the Lyra. Well, look at this. Trophy's going to go aggressive. Pain Sandy's going to get caught out, and I Angry You Die immediately with the re-kill, making that a 1-for-1 in terms of our early game.
Yep, I mean, we are seeing in the scoreboard right now, we do actually see Depression actually going for that jungle Castro instead of the classic lane Castro we've seen so far. Ooh.
Yes, ooh is the right, the right interaction with, or the right, what do you want to call it? Reaction. There you go.
I was just looking at a Depression farming away, just being Castro in the jungle, and then I see a pop up, and I was like, oh, okay, oh wow, I actually missed that. But anyways, we are going to see a Crystal Castro at this point in time. So I was expecting actually a utility glaive that we placed in the jungle, and then of course we have a ooh,
indeed, and they're gonna be able to spot out Trophies. And, well, Silver Boom, like you said, they're wanting to make this glaive as pick-off as possible. Even though it's not going to be utility, he's going to at least have extra damage so that the Castro won't be hard-fought to get the executions. So, I think that's what they're wanting to do here. That's why they're looking for maybe the weapon power glaive.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with you in all standards. I mean, weapon power glaive, we've seen a lot of it, but then it's normally played in the jungle. But then at times like this, rare times like this, when you have actually crystal carry like that of Castro or Celeste or even Samuel, who are just stronger junglers in all, ooh, Taka may call Depression out here.
Depression, though, will be popping his heal or potion as well as the boots as he tries to run away from this pretty slicey Taka. And he is looking for it. He's trying to do it for the MGS. Sorry, with the box. Yes, I know it's a reference.
Yep. Okay.
The Kaku.
Kaku, yeah, Kaku. It is definitely called the Kaku in this game.
Oh no, deja vu again in the lane, and for how many times was that? Second time they got trophies taken out.
Well, I mean, like I said, I agree with I may be looking for more.
And well, blow by blow, they're just trading it left and right, ladies and gentlemen. This is just Silver Boom and Eanix putting pedal to the metal. Rubber Monkeys right here with the Adagio, giving some support to I Angry You Die, and they will be looking to get the last onto the Trent. Not gonna be enough, but Depression. Oh, it's gonna be that age-old time wherein you want to go for the face check, or rather, doesn't go for the face check and actually gets punished. But wait, what just happened? Depression winning out the duel. Did the Sentry help? I did not see if he actually got a couple of shots up on the Adagio, but I Angry You Die will go for the exit out.
Yeah, I mean the Sentry did actually like put in some work there, like a couple of basic attacks. But even then, there is no reason I Angry You Die and Rubber Monkey should travel, like, you know, go in so deep this early in the game. Granted, they have really good early game. Oh, I Angry You Die is going for Depression again.
No, but here's so bad, very bad. The bombardment from up above, but that is a tower or turret dive. Ooh, the turret shot. Almost connecting, but it's gonna be I Angry You Die surviving. That's gonna be close. The scout trap was there, but they don't chase him down onto their own jungle, so he will be able to get away. Well, not scot-free, but still alive.
Yeah, I mean that is definitely scot-free. He got a kill. He went into the opponent's jungle. He took that jungle, and then now going back into lane looking for more.
And into the fray we go. It's gonna be Eanix. Oh, he will be able to. Actually, so bad, very bad. Will be able to afterburner away. Pain Sandy. You don't want to dive on a Lyra just because, yeah, she has her bulwark. She has her Imperial Sigil, but that doesn't mean that Eanix will be stopping to bombard this turret in the lane. Kestrel onto the silence, already level 6, so he does have that one shot, one kill, but it's not really super impactful unless they get themselves a really low target here. Silver Boom will be pushing them out, but that turret just got heavily damaged. Look at that, very low.
I'm interested to see. We are looking across the scoreboards now and the builds that's coming out from the teams. Just look at Eanix alone. Ooh, I agree.
Oh, but hold that thought. It's gonna be another die by So Bad, very bad. He doesn't get enough Pain Sandy. That's gonna be the 1-for-1, and they have no disengage at all anymore. Bulwark is still in the works. Oh, it's gonna be so close. The Pain Sandy will survive. Does he have an ion cannon? Trophies. He already used it, so he can't go for it. Jumps in, and he will be able to take down this turret. And aggression from the sides. X-Retsu. Ooh, he might have bit up a bit more than he can chew, but gets away again. Well, scot-free. Who is Scott? Yeah, scot-free.
Taka free, but anyways,
Taka free.
Taka free. So we are going through the scoreboard again, like earlier on, and it's quite interesting to see. I Angry You Die on this Taka is not going for that aftershock or has any form of crystal power. In fact, he's sitting on a crown and then 2 weapon blades. That is all that he's sitting on. He's probably going in, I hope, for that crystal. If not, then definitely we are going to see a burst Taka in the forms of oh, right, so the weapon blade is just for clearing, and we are going to see a crown and after crown Taka, because honestly, yesterday I was ranking, yeah, so I saw a game where I was up against this Taka, and it's quite interesting to see because that Taka did not go for crown into shock. That Taka just went for crown, tension bow, and aftershock. So it's really on hit. It's quite new to me. I've not quite seen a lot of Taka going that way, but the amount of burst in the early game with that tension bow and storm crown is just insane. Yeah,
might be the case as well. And I'll give what Minimizer said a while ago, why some people go for the storm crown. But before that, that's gonna be a little bit of tussle here in the lane. Lots of heals go into the Taka, but he will be able to get away. Express is back in, and he is just dipping into the water slowly, a little bit at a time. and he is chipping down this Kestrel, but you gotta remember, guys, that once you have a Lyra in your comp, you really can't go for the sustained fights. You have to go all in, all in, or it's not gonna be enough. So yeah, I just want to say, like, what I think Minimizer said a while ago was that when you do have a Storm Crown, you're just looking for more of that extra chip damage. I guess with the Tension Bow, that's gonna make it so that you can be an assassin, but then at least with this Storm Crown, it's gonna be other trophies for the execution, and then the stop for the dip damage as he tries to go back in and out of fight.
Yep, definitely. I mean, I agree with you. I agree with Minimizer. The only reason you have Storm Crown is just to provide that little bit more of basic attack damage whenever you stack, because generally the combination or the combo moves you go in for the Taka, it's you either add Zuretsu in or you Kaiten in, and then you basic attack, and then add Zuretsu or Kaiten, and then basic attack again. So it's just to provide a little more boost. There is this period of time, actually, we do not see... Ooh!
They engage into the lane, but on the other scale of the spectrum, look at this. Angry Dai will be able to get a solo gold mine. Immense payout. And will they get the last hit? No! This is a day of turrets not falling down with the very smallest of HPs. So bad, very bad, dives in, gets the kill, and Truffy's right here on the sidelines. Look at Pain Sandy, he's gonna eat the rock, takes it, and he even gives him Arcane Passage the kill. This is so bad. Using your own opponent's ultimate to your own advantage. This is disastrous for Eanix, but Depression says otherwise. 1v1. Who will win in Trophies or Depression? Well, I don't think he wants to go for it, but he'll be able to use an ultimate, hoping to get that finalizing shot, but it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade.
Yeah, that was a one-shot, one-miss indeed. Trophies, honestly, on this Baron, there has not been a lot of Baron counters out there, or reliable counters to Baron, because that Idris was banned out by the side of Eanix. So Idris is one of those more reliable counters for that of Baron. The other way you can check Baron and counter Baron is just play to your early game advantage, pick out early game heroes, and then of course, just play to that advantage that you have over this very late game hero like that of Baron. But we do see here the side of Eanix actually do know how to work their early game as well. With their team comp coming out, they ban out that Vox, they ban out the Idris, they force the side of Team Silver to go for the less picked weapon carries like that of Glaive or even Kestrel if they need to be going for. And honestly, if you do this, ooh.
Hang on, looks like it's gonna be nice defensive afterburn there from So Bad, very bad to keep him in check, but this AoE rockets from Trophies is making it so difficult for them to actually do any counter engagement. They have to respect the damage of the Baron. I mean, they do have the Lyra, but this is going to the point wherein you have yourselves that heal to damage ratio is not going to be enough, but Afterburn, again from So Bad, very bad, will try to go for a setup while Depression goes in with the backline shots, goes in with the Osok. Yeah, I'm gonna call it Osok. One shot, one kill. Yeah, but he will get spotted out by Angry Die. One missed position. He will capitalize heavily into that one. It's for the 1-for-1 trade. So bad, very bad. Does have damage, but Trophies is still in the backline. Goes in with the rocket jumps, and that's gonna be an ace for one. And Eanix looking to get a really good fight in our first game.
Yep. Anyways, we do actually have the update that just came in. The match between Infamous going up against Elite 8. Infamous, not surprisingly, actually came out on top. When I say not surprisingly, it was because off stream we were actually looking at a draft, and we were just I was just saying that Infamous will actually come out on top with that draft, just because of how the execution wise of that draft. Anyways, just jumping back into this game, we do actually see that the side of Eanix do actually knows that turret will be going down.
Well, it was on a sliver of HP, but was that actually enough that they might get capitalized upon by Eanix? The chase is on. Taka goes in with the Kaku, and he actually X-Retsus into the face of the Kestrel. Got to back away though, but the damage is still on. Trophies, now you want to go for the arcane passage? Will this be your passageway to a kill? I guess not, but still, you can see how strong they are. With the help from the Adagio does have quite a bit of heals as well.
Well, definitely. I mean, the side of Eanix do know how to work their early game as well, just so to support this Baron coming out from Trophies. And it's just so that I've been talking a lot about in all this series that Adagio is just such a strong early game hero, and if used well, Adagio's early game can kind of force a lot of heroes back. The gift of fire, the healing, it's not that great as compared to that of Lyra, because Lyra provides the team-wide healing per se. But Adagio's gift of fire, the burn, is what that matters in lane when you are trying to harass the opponent. I mean, we do see so bad, very bad on this game. Glaive playing excruciating well as well. I mean, just giving a lot of troubles to Trophies in the early game with that constant afterburn. They are going in for the Crystal Sentry right now. You know, honestly, what do you think is the win? Ooh, I'll just hold that thought.
All right, hold that thought indeed, as it looks like Silver Boom are once again in a fight against Eanix. Look at the backline, so bad, very bad. Activates the Blade Song, spins to win. And goes in with the afterburner. Actually, he uses Darking Passions. This could be the entry point for Boom to come back to this one. But no! Once again, you know what? Silver Boom doesn't know how to go up against the real Boom. That is the Baron. So, yeah, as you were saying, Luxuria, my goodness. Whew.
I thought you actually had a nickname for Baron's A ability, and that's Kaboom.
Yes,
right.
yes.
So, Boom, I mean, yeah, Silver Boom do not know, like you said, to go up against the real Boom coming out from the side of Eanix, and that is Baron. Honestly, a Crystal Castro is fine, yeah? She is fine against a Baron. It's just not a good pickup, because in the early game, although you can shoot him from afar, you have that range. But then I personally would prefer if the side of Silver Boom just went for that Celeste or even that Scarf to try to outpoke that of Baron. Granted, you have that Glaive there. The Glaive can offer you the pill, but what happened then was that although Trophies was actually caught out in that fight, he could actually just jump jets away, fire out 2 shots, and Pain Sandy got really, really low. And with that, they could just, I agree with that, should just come in, clean up, and then Trophies just clean up even more afterwards. Like you said, I agree with that, just going in to do the dip damage, coming out, and then of course Trophies just clearing up after I agree with that burst.
Here, oh, there it is, the Kaboom. The Ion Cannon finds its mark, actually doing significant amount of damage onto Pain Sandy as well. So bad, very bad, but the fight breaks out. The ultimate from Rubber Monkey actually keeping in check, I believe, the Kestrel, but he will be able to heal up. Second one, does he have an echo? I think he does. Drops it down, and Truffy's still high on HP. This Kraken is still battering onto the turrets. Look at the damage from Baron, and this is just too insane. We're gonna be seeing possibly an ace here. He wants to go for it. Give it to him. Pain Sandy as the Lyra will be lying dead, as they will be able to just taking down the Vayne, and that's gonna be our first game taken by Eanix.
That would be the first game taken by Eanix. I just can't stand that pun of yours, lying dead. And you had to make it so obvious, else who would pick up on it? But anyways, great puns aside, daddy jokes aside, we are just going through the scoreboard right now. The first game we do, it does go over to Eanix with their really good and thought out team comp. We have the Adagio, that Taka to apply the early game pressure, and of course there's a Baron who is just a monster in the late game. And on the side of Silver Boom, like I said earlier, there is this Glaive there, the presence of the early game gank, but it didn't quite make into the mid game because Glaive wasn't played in the jungle, so the element of surprise isn't there. And the fact that Rubber Monkey is just babysitting Trophies in lane just makes it so much more difficult for another laner to gank the laner. So anyways, it is well played on the side of Eanix. I think personally, Eanix won via draft.
Yeah, they did. I thought it was going to be Silver Boom, but, well, I guess also proper your understanding of win condition or how to use your composition. Said they didn't really have that surprise factor with the glaive, so maybe that's the reason why. But although, I mean, even without that, they got a lot of picks on the Baron, so it might have been also the Taka to have opened up the Baron to at least reach the point where he's not super bullied in the early game, that he could actually just come back into the mid game, into the late game, and just deal that insane amount of damage.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, with that Taka, every single time Glaive do actually go in for that Baron, they do actually take out that Baron, yeah? But then Taka immediately emerge from the brushes and take out Lyra or take out just Castrol and just disallow them to have that one kill or kills advantage over the side of Eanix. So it is really well played because the team comp coming up from the side of Eanix is almost very thought out. It's just very methodical in how they actually went in with this draft. I was kind of skeptical for the Adagio at first because in the late game, Adagio just not provide as much healing as compared to that of Lyra. Like I said, because Lyra provides the team-wide heals, whereas Adagio is just single target. But then I constantly forget that Adagio's B buff is really significant when it goes down to who has got a little more damage. And although Glaive put in so much work, in that game, Glaive caught out Baron so many times. Even in that last fight around that Crystal Sentry, Glaive, Baron was caught out, and yet he could survive because he was level 8 already, and then he had jump jets to just dodge and reposition himself. So, anyways, it is good game well played to both of these teams. I think draft is ready. Do the honors.
So, guys, let's go into the draft before the Halcyon fold.
Right, we are into this draft. I'm not surprised if the side of Eanix would ban out that Idris again, like they did, or even that Vox. And then I personally think the side of Silver should consider banning this Baron out.
We'll see.
We will see. Yeah.
Could still be the first ban on the Grace, because they have been trending on this game, but early, like you said in the first draft. Hopefully they get themselves the Grumtrar. I really want to see a Grumtrar, but it looks like there are no players here in Seiya. So it's gonna be the Vox though. We
will see the standard bans coming up from the side of Eanix, where they just want to ban out that Vox, and then if they follow through, their second ban would be that of Idris. But on the side of Team Silver, I don't think they should prioritize on that Grace at this point in time. I think Lyra or even Baron would be a better ban out. They do actually ban out that Lyra, so coming into Eanix, they might just pick up that Baron as first pick. They are going in for the Grace.
So the one time that Silver Boom bans out the Lyra, they immediately dip in for a Grace. Maybe this is going to set up... Actually, Grace is really versatile anyways, so just looking into this, maybe the first pick of Silver Boom is where we're going to see it. They could opt for maybe Baron could be good here.
Baron
or
could
a Catherine.
be good. Yeah, but then the two basic attacks after jump jets, I think Grace can heal it all the way up. Catherine is, of course, the better pickup. Very clever ban coming out from the side of Silver to ban out that Sky who counters Catherine. And also, Catherine in itself, she just provides so much utility. Although I dislike Catherine, because I just think that she's just so squishy in the early game as compared to the other tanks and captains available. But anyways, they do go for that Catherine, and then with that banning out that Sky, in response, the side of Eanix would actually go for a rather peculiar ban, and that would be Celeste. Because honestly, I don't think the side of Silver would actually go in for that Celeste pickup, although Celeste synergizes well with that Catherine. But anyway, still good ban coming out from the side of Eanix. They might just not want to go against that, because honestly, Idris would be a better ban than instead of Celeste. They are going in for that Baron after seeing that Idris, so I'm not too sure. The draft coming up from the side of Eanix, in the previous game, they had a really sound draft. It's as if they knew what they were doing. But then if you are going to go for that Baron pickup, then why ban out that Celeste instead of Idris? Granted, Celeste can... Celeste, like I said earlier on, Celeste synergizes well with Catherine. Celeste is a threat to Baron. because Celeste can just outpoke you before you can get to her. But even then, there is an Idris in the late game that you must go up against as this Baron.
That's true. Like, this is one of the counters, right, to a Baron. Like, going either, I think, an Idris. But, alright, looks like Eanix will go for a Koshka. So, anything... Like, maybe they're looking for, like, maybe bait out the Black Feather pick, and then this Koshka will just go aggressive early game and, make him neutered, basically, so that he can't really go aggressive onto the Baron if they go for that third pick, Black Feather, and then the Idris in the laning phase isn't really strong because, as far as I remember, there's not really much that you can do to clear out the waves, except for maybe pushing out chakrams, but then you get heavily outmatched by a Baron who can just hit AoE with the rockets. So maybe that's what Eanix are looking for, and they're gonna go for the Black Feather.
They are going to go for that Black Feather. So Black Feather we saw in the previous game, or rather the game that was not streamed. It was similar coming out from the side of Infamous, going against the Baron as well. So I think it's good drafting from the side of Silva. On the side of Eanix, however, it's the drafting coming from them for this game. It's rather peculiar. Granted, Koshka can win Black Feather in the early game. It's really just down to how Grace is positioned. If whether or not Grace will babysit this Koshka, because Grace just provides so much protection and damage reduction in the early game. Black Feather has got nothing on them. So whether or not they will play to their strength on the side of Eanix, whether or not they can actually go in for the invades without Catherine being an harassment in lane, because we have to note that if Grace and Koshka do not go up to lane, Catherine will definitely be there. And if they do actually constantly invade the side of Silver, pushing that of Black Feather down, their lane will be affected because you have a Baron. Your wave clear is better compared to that of Idris. But then if you are going to just allow Idris to farm up, he is going to be a problem for you in the later game. And Koshka just falls off so hard in the later game. So I think they have to find a balance. Eanix, for the side of Eanix, at least, they have to find a balance, pressuring the lane and, of course, pressuring the jungle. I'm just quite interested to see how their draft pans out.
Yeah, maybe... if you think about it, this type of, I guess, drafting from Eanix is more of like a confidence play wherein you know that they know, or they think they know how they're, or rather they find it, they're confident enough. Yeah, that's it. They're confident enough to actually get the execution that they're looking for against the Silver Boom, who can, basically destroy them in the later stages of the game, which is what we're going to be looking for. But look at here, Truffles as well as Rubber Monkey immediately with the aggressive poke or the steal on the Trent. So they're immediately starting it off. Who's going to get blasted? I think it's going to be Rubber Monkey, and Pain Sandy is caught out here as they will be getting that first blood. So Eanix looking to show that they know what's up, or they know how to do this.
Definitely. The Dragon Blood contract picked up on Rubber Monkey on this Grace is just an insane pickup, because firstly, that's a slow that you can provide. Okay, and secondly, an additional 100 crystal power in the early game for just 300 gold. So, honestly, it is a really good pickup on the part of Rubber Monkey on this Grace. Grace is known to go really aggressive in the early game because Grace is just so strong in the early game. However, in the later part of the game, Grace will start to struggle because a lot of his, the kit of Grace requires a lot of channeling. So it's going to be difficult to execute a team comp, especially with a Grace. So if you can actually work your early game, right, very, very well, especially with this Koshka, you can be very aggressive. Oh, we actually do see so bad, very bad, maybe getting caught out right now.
He will be trying to get away. Oh, was it Truffy who actually got the Trent? That was he? I think he was.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Oh no, that's bad. That's very bad for so bad, very bad. And he will get caught out by Rubber Monkeys. He does at least have the Shroud Step to be able to go over the wall, but it's not going to be enough. And they net themselves a second kill onto a Baron this early on.
Yep, and it is not good at all. Just looking at Truffy's is sitting. Oh, they are going in for depression at this point in time.
Well, it doesn't mean that. Well, this doesn't really show that. Or rather, this shows that they're really aggressive with their composition. They get themselves a Black Feather, and the pieces are falling into place here. Luxuria. It looks like they're starting off the way they wanted this game to go.
Definitely. I mean, we do see the side of trophies actually just picking up that minion candy just to push the wave a little further, just to just to shove that wave into so bad, very bad wave. Oh, Pain Sunday. They do.
Shouldn't be able to get away from this one. He was trying to at least get so bad, very bad there, but he wasn't lucky enough. Although that was just a consolation prize for how much Eanix have been starting strong into this game. Koshka, I angry you die, chasing it down. Nice connection with the Holy Nova to people. And Koshka, looky here, gets the damage in. And this kitty cat is just meowing or meowching his opponents. But, well, so bad, very bad, gets the 1-for-1.
Yep, it is a really bad thing. I mean, both of these teams, they can play. They are playing very well into this early game. They are just making use of their team comps overall. Problem I'm seeing with the side of both teams, actually, not just on the side on one side, is that they're not playing very methodical. They are going in for these kills, and then of course trading another kill back again. Granted, in the early game we have Trophies picking up that Catherine, and then of course Trophies going into his jungle and then picking up so bad, very bad on this Idris without any consequences. But then when Trophies got really confident at the point in time, he was standing on the side of Silverboom's lane, and that was how Pain Sandy got to him, and then of course Depression picking up the kill. So although they have a really good comp.
Ooh, I think that was the Storm Guard almost getting the kill on I Angry You Die. He will be able to chug a potion to sustain himself and keep him in maybe the jungle. No, he's going to be going for the port. All right.
Yep, I mean, I Angry You Die on this Koshka, he is going in for that.
A little bit of, so it's going to be a little bit of lane aggression here by Silver Boom. They have to be careful of Trophies, but now Trophies, he's learned his lesson. He's not going to allow... What is he doing? He's going to be going aggressive here and he might get caught out. Sunday. Pain Sunday dives it in with the Merciless Pursuit. Black Feather to follow up with the on-point lunges himself forward. And Depression might get killed here by Rubber Monkey. And he does. Rubber Monkey just leaping himself forward and getting him that Black Feather. Already, Angry You Die is right here. Koshka's damage. AoE as well. Ripping it through. I Angry You Die will be able to connect his ultimate, keeping Pain Sunday in check, and that's going to be a delayed ace by Eanix.
It was a delayed ace. Had Depression not come up in time, then Depression just going in. Depression can actually clean up right now, but then of course we cannot forget the fact that there is such thing as a jump jet, and Trophies can get away successfully. So what we are seeing right now is that the side of Eanix, they are sitting at a comfortable 2k gold lead over the side of Silverboom, and Koshka as well is going in for that Shatter Glass instead of the occasional, instead of the more meta aftershock broken mid build. And I do understand the build coming up from I Angry You Die on this Koshka, because she just wants as much crystal power as possible in the early game, because she knows, especially with a Shatter Glass build, it better translate into the later game as well. It sends you into the mid game once she is going in for the 1v2.
He doesn't even care. There is an outnumbered advantage here because the Grace has hold her hand. Gonna go for a little bit of a twirly lid action. Does have the AoE spin to win. Does he have the yummy catnip frenzy? Actually, don't think he was able to use it. Although Trophies is right here. Rocket jumps with the double auto attacks. And yeah. So bad, very bad will be able to escape. But that was the 1-for-1 trade. And I think he was alright with that. Actually, 2-for-1 trade. Impressive indeed. And this turret, can it be defended by So Bad, Very Bad? I don't think he can. He's just the lonely Idris for the meantime. Doesn't even have that die potential. And Trophies goes in. So Bad, Very Bad, way out of position. And he will get punished. That's, again, another delayed ace by Eanix.
Yep, I think the side of Silverboom, they are playing so haphazardly, a little too haphazardly. In fact, they are not considering the consequences that might befall them if they do actually go in for those kills, or they try to go in for those kills. I want to just quickly touch on I Angry You Die on this Koshka. We see I Angry You Die just going in, whether or not it's a communication issue with the side of Eanix, but then I'm You Die just goes in without any form of benefit whatsoever. Like now.
Hold on to that thought, man, because it looks like Eanix are gonna be diving in once again. There it is, the Yummy Captain Frenzy, putting him into a lockdown state of misery as Trophies just goes in and deals the extra damage. Eanix will be looking for a second turret, and with the damage, goes in with the rocket jump. Ooh, has to be a little bit careful there, but with the Grace having her engage in front line, she'll be able to provide some support. Rubber Monkey is actually taking quite a bit of turret shots here. Depression goes in with the Rose offensive. Although I don't think it actually hit I Angry You Die.
It did. It actually
did.
I Angry
Okay.
but I Angry You Die manages to run away successfully. Just a
Alright.
quick touch on I Angry You Die and how he is playing so far. I must say he's playing rather well. Right, he's providing that front line he can for his team, and then of course we have Grace just healing her up, or rather this Koshka up when Koshka gets really low. What happens then was in a lot of team fights, in fact, not just then, was that Angry Die just went in without any form of backup from the team. So whether or not it's a miscommunication, an error in that, if not, then Angry Die is just playing a little too aggressive for the liking of the team, because he's not considering what would befall him, the consequences afterwards, and whether or not the team is there to follow him up. They may be looking for a clash right now, or they are just going in for that gold miner. Ooh, Depression might spot them out.
There is the scout trap right there, another Catnip Frenzy, and look at this. Rubber Monkey sets it up with a follow-up Holy Nova. Although there was the Blast Tremor from, well, Pain Sandy, it wasn't really enough to do anything because the damage has already been done. Ooh, that was so close from the Shimmer Strike there, and I Angry You Die. Finally, that's the real ace.
That is the final, finally that ace that we've been waiting on for so long. Every single time we go like, oh, that's a delayed ace, and finally we do see an ace. And like, although I said I Angry You Die is playing very aggressively without any backup from the team, but then in that team fight when his team is there, his aggressions do actually pay off, scoring them that ace. Very clean one, in fact, without any exchange, any kills exchange at all. So, you know, honestly, it is really good play coming out from the side of Eanix, but whether or not they can actually carry through. What happened then was so bad, very bad, was so far back. Yeah, he wasn't even part of the team fight. And then Koshka finally found him and then took him down immediately. So bad, very bad, was so far away from Team Silver. I think, although we are looking at a goal difference of about 8,000 in favor of Team Eanix, I think the side of Silver Boom do. Ooh, Depression is going in.
And indeed, he goes in, but dips back out. So I think, like, they might go for a fight still, but I think the reason why this is actually going so well for Eanix is that even though, let's say that I Angry You Die just goes in a bit, you know, crazy over his head, the follow-up really isn't that difficult in a way because Grace has so much AoE as well as the Baron, so it kind of evens out that even though there was a little bit of mistake with the timings, it's still easily fixed with just how much AoE is coming out from Eanix's Grace and the Baron. I mean, I just think that might be the case.
Yeah, I do agree with you as well. I mean, although it may be delayed, like you said, but then because of the amount of CCs, or rather the AoE slow coming out from the side of Eanix, they can actually afford to be that slow with their reaction time. When I Angry go in, just look at the damage on, so bad, very bad.
Man, this is just a game of ooze as we are just seeing damage potential Eanix. Trophies, look at that, from 0 to 20% on the turret. They're chasing him down, but there's still the matter of, well, the Koshka as well as Grace. It's a Blast Tremor for the silence, but it's not gonna be the case anymore. Look at that cat just slashing, dashing, getting the kill, and he almost obliterated so bad, very bad. Uses the Shimmer Strike, but well, it's a little bit of a shine, and this Idris goes down, and Eanix looks to actually get this game 2-0. What a game.
They might actually get this game 2-0. I mean, that second Crystal Turret is going down so fast, and I think that would be that Vein Crystal popping.
Ruffy's, he's doing it. Rubber Monkey and Ian Gridai do get the kill onto Depression, and he is just slashing onto the Vayne. One more shot, and there you go. That's the rocket to victory. Vainglory. There you go. 2-0.
Vainglory, indeed. Ending the third series, we actually do see Eanix coming out on top over the side of Silverboom with 2-0. So just going through the team comp really quickly, like I said in the game before, or rather before this game started, I really like the team comp coming out from the side of Eanix, although it's kind of, I just don't like the fact that they banned out that Celeste, but then at the end of the day, it worked out quite well for them.